Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviriyam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vitvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May God protect both teacher and student. May He nourish us together. May we work together with great energy. May our study be enlightening. May there be no hate among us. Om, peace, peace, peace. Thank you. All right. Any questions, any comments, any suggestions for today's subject? Is Acharya and Chaitali available today? Are they here?
Yes, yes. Good morning.
Okay. Good morning, Chaitali. Good morning, Acharya. Do you have any question from the last time, or are we clear about what we spoke about thoughts?
हाँ जी आचार्य जी, समाधि के बारे में
जी,
समाधि का मैंने आपसे पूछा था ना कि जैसे कई वो ऋषि मुनि समाधि ले लेते हैं इनमें।
फिर से बताइए।
समाधि ले लेते हैं।
My question is, I could not understand actually what is cosmic mind and how does our thoughts get conceived? Though you have said it is recorded from our Akashic account, but I didn't get that clarity. Okay. How does it conceive? Receiving and perceiving is clear, yeah, but conceiving is not clear. And what is actually cosmic mind? Though you have said it is a form of bubble,
yeah,
I could not actually gather the information properly. These two questions and another one I forgot. I will ask you in the process.
Okay. All right. All right. So let me reply to about the samadhi. So let me wait for her. It was Adarshji's question. So the samadhi is the state that you cannot achieve, which means that it is not something that you do. It could be your intention, it could be your target, it could be your desire, but it is not something that it is done through your efforts alone. Your effort can only go up to the state of dharana and dhyana. And when you are intensely engrossed in dhyana, with the grace of the divine, you can achieve the state known as samadhi. Now that state is something that is only our intellectual mind or our ego will try to describe it. I have not experienced samadhi myself, therefore it will not be right for me to explain you the experience of samadhi. But what I understand from the different literature is the ancient wisdom of the rishis or saints who could achieve the samadhi state, they could barely describe a state of entire total peace, love, and light. It is the state also known as Turiya, the fourth state. So when we speak about consciousness or Atma, there are 4 different states. First one is known as the state when we are awake, which is what we are now, hopefully. Second state is when we are dreaming. When you go to sleep, before you find a deep sleep, you are in the state where your mind is very active and you with your eyes closed, you are watching certain visions, which are dreams. So the second state of consciousness is in the state when you are in dream. Third state of consciousness is when you are in deep sleep. When you are in a deep sleep, your body is not active, your mind is not active, your intellectual property is not active, and therefore, and yet you are still alive. You are in the state of pure bliss. And that is the state which is known as a deep sleep state, where your consciousness prevails only, and no other faculty of your body or mind operates, which is the closest state to the fourth state called Turiya. And the Turiya is the state when you are merely conscious about the subject that you are perceiving. And beyond a point, after Turiya, you have no experience. You do not know where do you belong to, what is the location and the position of your body or your mind. And it is the position which is known as Turiya or Samadhi, where it is beyond the realm of description. However, the Samadhi itself is not the last stage, because Samadhi can last for few hours or few days or few months, but ultimately you are back to the life of your waking state, the stage of waking state. The only difference that happens that when you are back from Samadhi, you have experienced a state which is beyond description, and therefore you know what is the absolute truth in life, who you are or what you are, and you may continue your lifestyle with the clear consciousness of what you are. So apparently, we all look alike as far as our physical body is concerned, appearance is concerned, but people who have achieved that state of Turiya or Samadhi, their internal wisdom or internal sight is changed. They may not look different from you and me, but they have very clear vision and understanding that they are divine light, love, and pure consciousness. So that is as far as Samadhi is concerned that I can describe. As I said, it would be not correct if I speak more than this, because it is not experienced. And even if one experiences, it is beyond description. You cannot describe it. It is, the words cannot justify the experience of Samadhi or Turiya. You may have glimpse at the most, when you are in a deep state of samadhi, deep state of dhyana, you may get a glimpse of it, but you would not. And when you get a glimpse of it for a minute or two, that itself will give you enough peace of mind, and it changes your outlook, your approach to the world, approach to the relationship, approach to your lifestyle, just by having glimpse of it. I hope I am able to explain to you. I'm sorry I could not explain in Hindi, but I hope you understand.
Thank you, Acharya ji. नहीं मैं समझ गई हूँ.
Chaitali, about the
Yes.
cosmic mind. First, you must understand there are things which are beyond our ability or capacity of our mind or intellect to grasp it 100%. In other words, you can go on studying about it, you can go on doing contemplation on it, you may go on having satsangs about the subjects such as that with ancient wisdom, people who have achieved that wisdom. But ultimately, there is some amount of divine mystery. When I said divine mystery, is to indicate that no matter how intelligent, no matter how much you studied the spirituality, how much advanced you are into meditative state, there are few things that are beyond reasoning, beyond logical point of view. If you look at everything with the logics, the divine design, the divine manifestation cannot be grasped with our logical mind. So when we speak of cosmic mind, it is not a particular, let's say, particular location or particular area, but it is the frequency. It is the frequency, or call it a vibration, or call it a field, call it different field, as we have spoken about, that we have 7 chakras within us, and there are 7 chakras without us, beyond us. So there are 14 lokas, 7 lokas within us, 7 lokas outside. Now, what are these 7 lokas outside us? These are nothing but a field or frequencies. Now, each frequency is as vast as your mind can grasp. So, in other words, in one particular frequency, there could be a vast, call it nothingness, call it vacuum, call it space, call it akash, is so vast that our mind cannot perceive it. But that's just one frequency. Beyond that, there are different frequencies. We only know, let's say, 3 dimensions. Yeah. But there are plenty of dimensions in reality. We cannot grasp it. We cannot follow it. It is beyond our ability to grasp the possibilities of what is in this existence. The existence is so magnificent that it is beyond our ability. Now, cosmic mind start with the manifestation of this, what we see, physical form of universe. What we see as a physical form of universe, at the time of manifestation, there was, I'm talking about the philosophical school of Sankhya, which is the oldest school of philosophy, where it says there is a creator, or there is a Purush Tattva, and there is a creation, which is a Prakruti Tattva. Call it Maya, or call it different names are given, Shakti, for instance. So it is Shiva, Shakti, Yin and Yang, as Chinese or Zen master would call it. So with that, when creation came to being in manifestation, it was always existing in form of seed. When creation came in being, manifestation, there was this, what is known as the element, five element in subtle form, which is known as a panchikarana, five subtle forms, five elements. As we know, the first element when its manifestation came to being was the space, or we call it akasha. That is the first element that came to being. And from akasha came fire, from fire came vayu, and from vayu came water, and finally the gross earth, or call it a grossness. Now these were in an extremely subtle form. And then what happened, which is again a divine design, or call it divine mystery, there is something called panchikarana, which is a mutation and combination of these five subtle elements, and when they mixed with each other, it came into the grossness, or the what we know as a pancha mahabhuta. The mahabhuta is a formation what we see today. Now this, when that happened of the mutation and combination, there were three states which were developed: tamasic, rajasic, and sattvic. Now the result of a pure sattvic is also known as a Ishvara, or Mahant, or Logos. So this Ishvara Tattva developed Ahankara, and that Ahankara brought about the desire to see himself in many, and that is how the life began. So when one become many, it's not that they are separate, it's just that appears to be many, but ultimately it is one. That Ishvara is cosmic mind. It's a combination of all life put together, and their karmic account, their thoughts are stored in that cosmic mind. When you cannot imagine, cosmic mind is not a kind of area that you can imagine. It is a vast open frequency where it is recorded, which is holding those desires and feelings and thoughts of millions of years since the life began. Now it is beyond our understanding how that happens, but it does happen according to this ancient wisdom. Now, in case you are more interested to study this subject of cosmic mind alone, which is known as a Karana Sharira. So if you remember, we spoke about that all of us have five different sharir, or body, or three different covers. So the five bodies are, first and foremost is the gross body, the physical body. Then we have what is known as a pranamaya, the breath, then manomaya, then vijnanamaya, and then anandamaya. That anandamaya kosha, or anandamaya body, is the causal body. So the gross body, mental body, and then causal body, Karan Sharir. The Karan Sharir is in the form of a seed. When I say seed, again, do not think of a little piece of, it's known as a seed because it is our Sukshma Sharira. We all have subtle body, as you probably know. Beyond physical body, there is a subtle body. The subtle body is known as a Sukshma Sharira. The subtle body is a combination of five Gyanendriyas, the organs of senses. Yeah, the nose, eyes, ears, the touch, the taste, the five Gyanendriyas. Then five Karmendriyas, the organs of actions. Yeah, hands, legs, mouth, genitals, excretions, five Karmendriyas, and five pranas. So we have learned these different 5 pranas, major, let's say, attribute of prana: prana, vyana, samana, udana, and apana. These 5 pranas, 5 indriyas of kriya, or 5 gyanendriya, put together 15. Then number 16 is your mind, what we call mind, which is the combination of the memory, the ahankara or ego, your desires, or this itself, and finally your buddhi, intellect. So subtle body is made of these major 17 factors: 5 gyanendriya, 5 karmendriya, 5 pranas, mind and buddhi, manas and buddhi. This becomes a subtle body or sukshma sarira. This sukshma sarira has ability to remain as they are, as it is, even after the death. So by death, we drop our body, or the body is no more functioning because the sukshma sarira leaves the body. Now that sukshma sarira is then, it is not a travel. It is right there, and then it merges with this, what is called a cosmic mind, or a seed form, or karana sharira. And it is there till it picks up a new body. New body, new environment, new siblings, new parents, which can help that sukshma sharira to evolve further, spiritually speaking. So that the sukshma sharira chooses the next birth. So coming back to your question of what is cosmic mind, is the frequency where all the sukshma sharira or subtle bodies are at peace, at rest, until it takes the new body. And as I said, those sukshma sharira contains mind or thoughts. Yeah, the mind is nothing but a thought. And buddhi is the faculty which enables you to discriminate. When you are able to decide what is right and what is wrong, it is not the activity of your mind, but it is activity of your buddhi, your intelligence, your intellectual, that decides. So discrimination power goes to the buddhi. Buddhi and mind, which is the collection of thoughts and memories, remains as it is all through the time. There is no end, there is no beginning. So that's cosmic mind. Chaitali, that's at the moment what I can say.
Okay.
Beyond this, if you want, I would recommend you to read the book called Tattva Bodha.
Tattva Bodha. Oh,
Tattva Bodha.
okay.
Tattva Bodha gives you all informations in detail about what is causal body, what is sorry, subtle body, what is physical body. The only purpose is to know that we are neither of that. We are neither physical body, we are nor subtle body, nor a causal body. But we are that which enables these 3 bodies to be available, to be alive, to exist, and which is consciousness.
Okay.
Very interesting in connecting to this subject is that you must know, or let me ask you, all of you can answer, any one of you can answer. Who dies when the death happens? I'm sure all of us has either personally or directly or indirectly exposed to the situation of anybody in the family or close friends or relation passing away. What is death and who dies? what happens? How does death happen?
In the form of this, what I understand, Atma leaves the body.
Chaitali, very nice. But do you know what is Atma?
Jivatma,
There is a difference. When you say Jivatma, I would say you are almost correct. But when you call it
evidently
Atma,
the body dies. Opposite of death is birth actually. Keeps on.
I could not hear who's that.
I think you were saying? Amit.
Kapil, I think Kapil is saying something.
Anyway,
Yeah.
realize this. I like to give you a very interesting analogy about this. As I was talking about the subtle body or Sukshma Sharira, so first we must know that we have different seat and Manomaya Kosha. As I said, Annamaya Kosha, which is our body. I repeat, Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, and Anandamaya Kosha. The 5 kosha. Kosha means the sheath or cover. All right.
Please, these 5 bodies, please tell me in English. Is it available?
So I tell you, what is known as Annamaya Kosha is a gross body.
Okay.
Yeah, gross body is sustained by what we eat or drink, which is called Anna, food, Annamaya Kosha, gross body. Then comes Pranamaya Kosha, the breath, the breathing, prana. That is also covering our consciousness. Third, Manomaya Kosha, our thoughts and feelings and emotions. That also covers the consciousness or soul. Now, soul again is an English word I'm not very happy with, but let's call it consciousness. After Manomaya Kosha comes the Vijnanamaya Kosha, which means it's your buddhi, your intelligence, which also covers the consciousness. And beyond that is called so Vijnanamaya Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha. Anandamaya Kosha is the state which I explained to you, causal, Karan Sharir, causal body. The Karan Sharir is the state which is, as I explained you, the state closest to Samadhi, Turiya state, when you're closest to the knowing reality. That state, you still do not know the reality, but you are closest to the reality, which is known as a Anandamaya Kosha, which also covers your consciousness. So these are the koshas or shit or covers. When you speak of body, it is 3 different bodies: physical body, mental body, and mental body will cover all other. Mental body will cover prana, mental body will cover your intelligence. So physical body, mental body, and causal body. Causal body is Karan Sharir, the seed form. So these are the 3 bodies and 5 different covers. Basically the same meaning, but they explain in detail. All of this is not what we are, because all these are sustained by consciousness. And that consciousness is actually what all of us are. Not only all of us, everything that you can sense, everything that you can perceive is in existence only because of consciousness. So I want to come back to the word you said, Jivatma. Jivatma is equal to Sukshma Sarira or subtle body. Now, when we experience the death, when we experience, we do not know, we have not experienced it because we are still alive. But when we know what is death is all about, is that Sukshma Sarira, the subtle body, is separated from your physical body. It's just separated. Now, it does not mean that the death of the Atma leaves the body. Atma does not leave it. The reason is Atma is omnipresent, which means it is ever available existence everywhere. When it is available or persisting everywhere, whether it is in you as alive or you as a dead body, it is still there. The difference is because your subtle body has left your physical body, there is no activity, there is no perception of your Atma into the physical body. Your physical body becomes a piece of a wood or piece of a soil or a collection of soil or whatever it is, inert. Atma is still there, but it is not received. Atma pervades everywhere, within you, without you. Actually, all of us are in that consciousness, and that consciousness is with us. But when it is with us, when it separates, that what is separating from us? The Sukshma Sarira. When it separates, this body cannot have the power of Atma. It cannot. Now I'll tell you example. Very simple to understand. You all know the computer. You have seen the computer, the container, like a box computer, whether it's a laptop or a desktop or whatever it is. Yeah, it is a computer. What is computer? Analogy here, computer is equal to physical body. It is a body. So it is a hardware, which is our body. But just by hardware, computer is of no use. You cannot operate it. What you need is a software. Without software, your hardware, the computer does not function. So what is the software? Software is equal to your Sukshma Sarira, subtle body. Now, when you have hardware and a software, but without electricity, you cannot operate. The computer cannot function. What is that electricity? Atma, the consciousness. Now imagine that you remove the software from your hardware and you plug in. Will computer work? Computer will not work because you have removed the software. Even if you have plugged in the electricity to your hardware or hard disk, it is not operating, it's not functioning. So what is actually functioning is your software, which is subtle body, Sukshma Sarira. So it's a combination of Atma and the Sukshma Sarira, which is in our terms is Jivatma. Combination of the Atma, which is a all-pervading, omnipresent. Atma with Jivatma makes this physical body and all other three bodies alive. Second example, which is easy to understand. Imagine a bucket, yeah, a big bucket, and put it in your backyard or in the open to sky, and you will realize that the sun rays or sunlight falls on the bucket. But that bucket cannot reflect it without water. When the bucket is filled with water, the sunlight is reflected. Now, over a period of time, the bucket gets older and there is a leakage of the water and water is draining out. What is happening? What is happening? When the water level is dropped completely, the sunlight is still falling on the bucket, but bucket does not reflect it. There is no reflection. So here, bucket is our body, sunlight is that Atmic power, and the water is the subtle body, Sukshma Sarira. Therefore, Sukshma Sharira, which is known also as Jivatma, is what goes separate at the time of death. The body can still have the power of Atma, but it cannot receive it without subtle body. Because remember, Atma is omnipresent. It's everywhere. There is no, let's say, iota. There is no iota of existence without that consciousness. You cannot imagine anything that can exist without consciousness. So consciousness is always present, but it is that part which does not receive it or reflect it, which is Jivatma, which is your Sukshma Sharira.
Acharya ji, I have one question. I mean, maybe it's funny, but the person who is in coma, I mean, their body stopped working. I mean, how this electricity thing, I mean, Atma and subtle body is still linked with them. I mean, I'm not able to relate for them. I mean,
look, what we know as state of coma is not that you are not alive. You know that person is alive. It's just that the person is unable to be active or speak or see, which means their Gyanendriyas and Karmendriyas are not functioning. That's all.
Okay.
That's all. The person is still there. The person, when I said the Jivatma, is still there.
Okay. So,
but it is come to a point, for whatever medical reasons, that those organs of actions and organs of senses are not functioning. And therefore the person is unable to communicate, unable to respond.
So just their physical body is not working, their subtle body and the
physical and to some extent even the mental body do not work, because at the time of coma you do not have memory, you do not have thoughts, you do not have perceptions, you do not have feelings. So you come to a point where your physical body and subtle body slows down, but you still have the Jivatma in your body, and therefore the Atmic power is still there. You are not dead. You are not declared dead as yet, because you still have the Atmic power received by the Jivatma, but it is not functioning. That's all it is. And not functioning because of your medical reasons.
Okay.
It is not easy to digest, because it is subject which is, we try to use our, what we know, our mind or our thinking, our reasoning, our memories. This subject is something beyond all that. And therefore it's not easy to understand or digest. What is more important is not to understand it, but withstand it. What is withstanding is to have it open and accept it until you realize it. Withstand it. There are few friends who, for whatever reasons, don't turn on the camera and so on. And if there are new of some of them who are joined new, it's good to know each other, and it's good to know this interaction, whether it is received well or it is not received well. So I like this session of Tuesdays to be two-way session, that maybe 15, 20, 25 minutes I speak, and rest of the time I like your feedback. If you have received it, all right. Are you able to, I'm not talking about digesting it, but at least receive it. And when you think about it, does it raise any question? Or you are totally in mode of acceptance?
Acharya ji, I always feel like that all these things are new subject, and I accept it most of the time, and because assimilation of all these needs some time, but I accept most of the thoughts. That's why most of the time I don't react.
Very well, but be aware, the subject is not new. Your exposure is new. All right. So the subject matter is always there. I mean, it cannot have any beginning. It's only that our exposure could be new. Our exposure could be the first time. That's okay. Remember, all of us are here in this platform because of our good karmic account that we are talking about the subjects such as that. It is not coincidence. It is not by chance. You have earned that much of merit, or rather all of us have earned that much merit, that we are spending 1 hour together talking on subjects like this. And now and not earlier or not ever before is also not a point, because everything is in a mode of evolution. Everything is progressing. For everyone, there is a time when you are exposed to it. When you, after exposure, you try to understand it. After that, you get a clarity. Once you have clarity, process of purity begins. Once you start purifying, then comes the state of wisdom. So it is always the work in progress.
Thank you, Acharya.
Acharya ji,
Yes, please.
you've often spoken of the 3S, stillness, solitude, and silence. Stillness, solitude, and silence. Now, stillness and solitude are, I find, are more of a physical aspect, and silence is something which is very internal. In probably the next session, you could throw some more light on silence. What exactly? I mean, we want to know
Sure.
on.
Yeah.
What is silence, and what exactly do you mean by that? I mean,
Yeah.
we can be still in solitude even in toilets, but that's not what
Yeah.
you're talking about, I'm sure. And
Yeah.
how do I take it from the physical aspect to the next level, to the Sukshma level? If you
Yeah.
could throw light on it next session. Thank you.
Sure. We will. Very important. All 3S is good if we can manage it, because that will enhance our abhyas, our study of pursuing Raj Yoga, which is the state of our dhyan. So we will speak about it. Sure.
Acharya ji, I have another question, not for today's session. I think it will take time. regarding Ashtanga Yoga, Patanjali Yoga Sutra, especially Yama, Niyama, those 5 elements. If we follow that everything, Pratyahar, Aparigraha, Ahimsa, when we follow, definitely it affects our emotion. So each element, how does it connect with your emotion if we follow thoroughly? Am I able to make it clear? Like how is connected those, because all activity, it creates emotion, whether it is anger or jealousy or any kind of emotions. So can we discuss on that next anytime?
Yes, we will discuss. But that very briefly, you must know, that, as you rightly realize, that Yama, Niyama, in other words, there are 5 do's and 5 don't. 5 things that you must not do, 5 things you must do. Those are the Niyama and Yama and Niyama. Now, it has nothing to do with your emotion as such. It is the process to take you beyond the state of clarity and purity. By following those 5 yamas and 5 niyamas, you Patanjali takes it for granted. By doing those 5 yamas and niyamas, you have purified your mind. And when I say mind, we talk about purification of your thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and your lifestyle. So it is only, as I said, the preparation to come to a point of dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. So you need to do yama, niyama, pratyahara, asana, pranayama, dharana, dhyana. And so these are the stages that he has explained, where yama, niyama is the basic beginning in order for any yogic life. So in detail, we can talk about it, but basically it's the 5 things that you must not do and 5 things you must follow as a discipline and purification.
Acharya ji, when we will discuss about Yama, Niyama and all, I just want to relate it. I mean, when this is just for my personal, from my personal experience, like when we have this, satsang, we discuss thing, and that the particular time, or for, I can say, for next 2-3 days, I just follow the thing we discuss. I try to live with that, and after 3-4 days, till next session we have, it just go away. I mean, it not becoming my niyama. So it is not, I'm realizing I want to live with it every day, every time, the moment, I mean, the things I'm learning, listening, so that very first day when I started, I heard that I don't want to create my next birth account. I don't want to create my karma account for next birth. I just want to close them, but I'm not able to, because I don't know what happened. After some time, I forget, and maybe it's Maya. I start the same routine which I'm living from past many years. So how we can relate that, and how we can reduce as much as we can. I know it's not possible for a person like me. I mean, we all engage in day-to-day routine, and we forget why we are just the actors, and we need to change the role after some time.
It is not only you, the most of humanity that are alive are in the same state. So if there are 8 billion people, more than 70-80% of them are in the state where they are ignorant. There are 15 to 20% who are not ignorant, like you, for example. They know what is right and what should be followed, what is dharma. what is knowledge, what is spirituality, who we are, what we all know, but we only know theoretically. We only read about it, hear about it, but because we cannot inherit, we cannot follow it, we cannot practice it, we cannot live those principles, those rhythm, because you have other activities in life. After a couple of days or hours, couple of days is very good achievement. Couple of hours, you are back to your mundane activity and your rat race. That's not a problem. That happens. Accept it. Do not fight about it. Do not struggle. Two things you must practice. One, live in present moment. Do not go back in past. Yeah, do not. That I had this experience earlier, now I don't have. I had this life, I do not have. I enjoyed that, I do not enjoy this. No reference to the past. Don't look forward to the future. That by doing this, I will gain this. By doing this, I'll be happy. Doing this, I'll be peace of mind. No, there is nothing future. What concern is now, this moment, this present moment. When you start living with that attitude of living in present moment, you will realize that you come to a point where you are happy with whatever is happening. Whatever is happening, you are happy. Whatever that you feel good about it after 1 hour of session, next hour, if you forget, accept it. Don't worry about it. But be aware that you forgot and you want to go back to that. That awareness will take you back. Contemplating, thinking about that. And how does that happen? By maintaining silence in the present moment. Remain silent as much as possible and contemplate on subject that you like to pursue. So instead of talking to anybody else, start talking to your own self. Talking to your own self is so important, which can happen in silence. And that's why silence is important, that you are able to do the contemplation on subject that you want to follow. Second thing, it is our samskar, our karmic account, which is bringing us to whatever experience that we are gaining now. When at the right time, when karmic account matures, you will also come to a point where this feeling not only stays for a couple of days, but stays for 1 week till next Tuesday. And then it follows for next 2 Tuesdays. So, there is always problem. It is not that you must stop your day-to-day life, living whatever activity you do. And you do not have to renounce anything. Continue doing what you're doing, but with awareness. And that all that you have to do, rest, everything will happen by itself. Just trust on that supreme energy, that frequency, that power, that consciousness it will be revealed. It will happen. You don't have to do it. Only job that we all have to do is remain in awareness, as much as possible, silence, contemplate.
Acharya ji, as you said that we have to remain in the present moment. So actually I have 2 questions, but rather it's a one question, which is ultimately the basic, is that suppose if we remain in the present moment, and it gives a wisdom, it gives a wisdom to a life in which we live. So, and by saying that if you do this, you don't do this, as we discuss the technicalities of yoga, and ultimately that leads to a good life or for healthy life. So I sometimes I couldn't correlate with things that ultimately we are doing for what? For good health, for getting. And on the one side, when we see that we if we say to achieve something, samadhi, for example, that we cannot achieve samadhi. So what would be the purpose of achieving samadhi, and why samadhi should automatically occur? Sometime I got confused in such things, why we have to do this, or when we say that we have to remain in the present, then what would be if we don't remain in the present, or what would be? So sometimes it's just a confusion. It's a genuine one, or in what way? It's like that if we are driving a car, and when we get into the technicalities, that how it is, the mechanism is, what is, how it works, but we couldn't able to understand, but we know we have to, it's automatic, what we have to go with the clutch, or I hope Acharya, you understand what I want to say.
Yes, I do get it. I understand it completely. Listen, the first thing we must know that there's nothing to achieve. There's nothing to achieve. All that you want to achieve is already achieved. You already are that, what you are seeking. You only have to uncover it. You understand? It's like from your window, you're trying to see a beautiful garden outside your house. Yeah. Now you are standing in your house, trying to look from your window to that beautiful garden. And I am standing outside the window and seeing the garden directly. Two different visions. One, your vision is through the glass or the window, and my vision is directly to the garden. So when I say, oh, this garden is so beautiful, the flowers are so pretty, and you would say, but to me, that garden is not so, it's kind of foggy. It's like a mist. It's not so brilliant. It's not so bright. Where is the fault? The fault is not in the garden. Garden is as what it is. It is our vision. I am trying to look at that directly, and other person is looking through the glass. Now the problem is not even you who's looking through the glass. The problem is the glass. The glass has got dust. Clean that glass, wipe it out. And then you will see the same brilliance, same bright as I would see. Which means what we need to do is uncover the mind conditioning that we have for millions of years that we are. And that's why they say the life that we have on this planet is like going to school or university. What are we doing in colleges and schools? We are learning new things, new subjects, to realize that there is something, whether it is physics or mathematics or history or any subject, to learn about it. Here is the question of learning the life, the purpose of life, knowing who we are, where are we going, where did we come from. These are the subjects. Now, all that knowledge you already possess. It's only because of mind conditioning you have forgotten it. So you have to uncover it. How do you uncover it? By process of negating. I am not this, I am not that, I am not that, I am not that. It's like peeling off the onion. One after another cells you remove of the onion. Where is the onion? The onion is that cell itself, which you are peeling off. There is nothing inside the onion. Samadhi is not what your target is. If you desire to achieve the state of samadhi, you are probably not doing right thing. When I say you, all of us, it is all this must not be your target. It must be way of living. Must be way of living, not the target. As Gita itself says, just perform, just do your activity, karma yoga. Do not expect result that I will achieve samadhi or by doing this, I'll have eternal peace. By doing this, I will have eternal peace. No, no. That may happen by itself, but it's not your expectations. Your work must be only to do your best. You don't even have to follow spirituality. Don't read any literature, any shastras or any function. Excuse me. 3 things: spread smile, which is love, full of love, just love. Have the thought of harmony, brotherhood, and do what you have to do. That's spirituality. That's spirituality in day-to-day life. Just do what you are doing. Whatever you are doing, do as the best as you can and be happy. Whatever outcome, result, reward comes, accept without expectation. Accept it as a prasad. That's the only small beginning of life. And then everything will happen. You do not have to get confused about doing this. I'm not able to understand by doing this, what will I achieve? There is nothing to achieve. You are already that divine power. You are that supreme power, that consciousness. That's all. Live in present moment and do your best. That's beautiful. That smile is what is necessary.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's
Thank you
do
so
the prayer
much,
and we conclude.
Yes, Acharya.
Asato ma sagamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, God, for giving us air to breathe. Thank you, God, for giving us sun for energy. Thank you, God, for giving us food to eat. Thank you, God, for giving us good health and happiness. Thank you, God, for giving us positivity. Thank you, God, for giving us all that we need. Thank you, God, for your love, your protection, your blessings, your guidance. Thank you, God, for the existence. Thank you for giving me a chance to serve you. Thank you.
Thank you, Acharya.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Acharya ji.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Acharya ji.
Thank you, Acharya.
Thank you.